Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, knowledge seekers. Though we have different time zones, this activity marks our common goal that unite us all together. Feed your skills, innovation, inspire, impact. Welcome to Institute of Global Professionals. I am your host for the evening, Lurchael Pelaez from New Era University, Quezon City, Philippines. Let us promote learning as IGP brings us to a wonderful evening. We are hoping that all of you will be associated with IGP as a global member. Just continue being with us in all the webinars. Check in on the IGP page, recommend IGP, and mention your friends. Each time, you can also like and comment in our webinar. Don't forget to tag and share with your friends and community. We believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge while embracing the chances of this learning. These challenging times won't stop us to learn because all of us possess a growth mindset. Before we start our program, let us learn more about IGP. IGP is an institution of global professionals which serves student and community resource, provides holistic social work and education to create a proficient generation. Our mission is to empower people and enhance effective training and consultation all over the world. We organize our webinar, training, offline and online courses by best and trained speakers, coaches to create a best learning platform for all of you. We expect that all of you will learn from this evening. We are trying to help you in your professional growth, and we wish that you will stay with us in this long journey. Let me remind you again to share, tag, and comment because your words of encouragement and support helps us to provide more quality service. And for the certificate, please click the link www.eduigp.com courses, and then Global Impact of Tourism, click Enroll Now. This is the same link that can be used for certification, but only after the live program. You need a code to claim your certificate, which we will share only on our live program. So we have to stay alert and active. So we will be provided with certificates that shows how active we are. Of course, I believe that all the participants tonight are really excited to learn. And I can read some of the comments from Marifel Rebuya. Good evening, everyone. So we welcome all your lovely comments. So let's invite more friends so they can learn a lot from this. We are very honored to welcome you all in our 131st webinar on global impact on tourism with our two speakers, Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza and Ma'am Maria Teresa Najarro Bernabe. So let us start our program with IGP's reminder, Feed Your Skills. Our first speaker has 18 years teaching experience in the La Salle University Dasmariñas Olivares College, Lyceum of Alabang, STI Southwoods St. June College. 13 years of which as sole administrator in the industry, experience including training of prospective hotel and restaurant workers, and 9 years in corporate sales and marketing in following companies: Sharing Philippine Corporation and Biogenerics Pharmaceutical, Germ Pharma, and Oberon Manufacturing Corporation. Let us all welcome Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza with an introductory video. Let us watch together.
A pleasant good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, wherever you may be. Welcome to this webinar. I would like to introduce myself. I am Miss Concepcion R. Mendoza from the Philippines. I am a Department of Tourism accredited tour guide since June 2013. I have been in the academe for 18 years and currently the Hospitality Management Program Head, Consultant and Educator of Laguna College since October 2010. I was the former Dean of Lyceum of Alabang from 2008 to 2010. I am a Director Consultant of the Alliance of Hospitality and Tourism Movers of the Philippines, or ATOM. I am a member and currently the business manager of the Philippine Association of Accredited Tour Guides Lecturers Incorporated since 2016. I am a founding member of the Association of Accredited Tour Guides Cooperative. I have been a subject matter expert, resource speaker in tourism and hospitality industry topics since 2010. I had hospitality industry experience both in the Philippines and abroad. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be your speaker.
Good evening, Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza from the Philippines. Magandang gabi po. In English, it's good evening. Magandang gabi.
Good evening, Ms. Lirza and all the participants in this webinar. So it's my pleasure to be one of the speakers in this particular webinar, and I'll be discussing about global impacts of tourism before and during the pandemic.
Thank you
So
so much, ma'am.
shall I
Yes,
start
ma'am.
sharing my presentation?
Yes, ma'am. We are all eager to learn from you. Once again, Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza. So the topic that Ma'am Concepcion will be sharing is very relevant, especially tourism plays a significant role in every country. So here it is. So Ma'am Concepcion is ready and all the participants are ready too. Ma'am, the floor
Okay,
is yours.
so the topic, as I said, is global impacts of tourism before and during the pandemic. So let me first give you a background of tourism, especially the tourism highlights according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO, so that you will be able to understand the impacts later. International tourist arrivals worldwide exceeded the 1 billion mark for the first time ever in 2012. Uh, can you just imagine that in 1950, there were only 25 million tourist arrivals around the world? And tourism indeed has grown leaps and bounds that it already breached the billion mark in 2012 at 1,035 million, or equivalent to 1.035 billion, which was up from 995 million in 2011. As a worldwide export category, tourism ranks third after chemicals and fuels and ahead of automotive products and food. In many developing countries, tourism is the top export category. So to continue further, before the pandemic, this was taken from the UNWTO report in 2019, just before the spread of the pandemic. So there were 1,460 million, or 1.46 billion tourist arrivals, which is equivalent to tourism receipts of 1,481 billion US dollars total international tourism receipts. So let's get a breakdown of this according to the. So from the Americas, there were a total of 219 million tourist arrivals, which was up by 2% compared to the previous year, 2018. And this was equivalent to a total tourism receipts of 342 billion US dollars. In Europe, there were 744 million tourist arrivals, which was up by 4% as compared to the previous year, and equivalent to 576 billion US dollars, again a 4% increase in tourism receipts as compared to the previous year. And in the Asia Pacific region, the tourist arrivals numbered 362 million, which was up by 4% and equivalent to 443 billion US dollars in tourism receipts, or a 1% increase. Then in Africa, 70 million tourist arrivals, an increase of 2%, and equivalent to 38 billion US dollars in tourism receipts, which was up by 1%. And of course, in the Middle East, no, you can see that it has the highest growth rate at 8%, both in the tourist arrivals at 65 million tourist arrivals, and equivalent to 81 billion tourism receipts. Okay, so that was before the pandemic. During the pandemic, which started in 2020, international tourist arrivals had an unprecedented drop of 73% in 2020. And an international tourism receipts plunged by $930 billion in 2020 at estimated 64% drop. This was expected because we have to remember that there were a lot of travel restrictions and borders were closed. So let's take a look at the breakdown again per region. So in the Americas, there was a 71% drop in tourist arrivals. In Europe, an 83% drop in tourist arrivals. So with Africa at 81% drop. In the Middle East, 78% drop. And the most affected region was the Asia and the Pacific at 94% drop or decline. To continue with the highlights, according to the latest report from UNWP, which was released only in May of this year, May 2021. Industry confidence is slowly rising, so there's something that we can hope for. Is slowly rising for the period May to August 2021, according to the latest survey of the UNWTO experts. So 60% of experts now point to a rebound in 2022, up from 50% in January 2021. The remaining 40% still see a potential rebound in 2021, but that will mostly happen during the second half of this year. To continue, nearly half of all experts see a return to 2019 levels only in 2024 or later. Due to weaker than expected results in the first quarter of this year, the scenarios for 2021 were revised downward. No? The first scenario points to a rebound in July. It's supposed to be this month, and would result in a 40% increase in international arrivals in 2021 as compared to the same period last year, 2020. And the second scenario considers a rebound in the month of September and a 10% increase in arrivals compared to 2020. So that's the background of tourism and what's been happening. So let's now go to the main discussion, which is the impacts of tourism. The first one is economic impact. So we have positive and negative economic impacts. Tourism brings in export revenues, So before the pandemic, by the way, this was taken from the UNWTO report, no, in 2019. Export revenues was 1.72 trillion US dollars, no? So this result into improved balance of payments simply because um, tourism could offset trade deficits of a country. However, during the pandemic, no, in 2020, there was a staggering loss of 1.3 trillion US dollars. That's how much COVID has impacted tourism. So another positive impact of tourism during normal circumstances is employment. Definitely, tourism creates a lot of jobs. So before the pandemic, there were 334 million jobs. However, during the pandemic starting in 2020, there were only 262 million jobs available in the tourism sector, which was an 18.5% decrease. Then the total gross domestic product or GDP contribution globally was a high of 10.4%, equivalent to 9.17 billion US dollars. But during the pandemic, it definitely went down at 5.5%, equivalent to 4.761 billion US dollars, or a decline of 49.1%. No? But according to the UNWTO, or the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the losses, no, in 2020 had reached 2.4 trillion US dollars. And if you combine it with this year, 2021, it could reach as high as 4 trillion US dollars. Another positive impact, supposedly, of tourism is foreign investments. No? So before the pandemic, it was 48.5 billion US dollars, but during the pandemic, it declined to 12.6 billion US dollars simply because companies are hesitant, no, to put up investment simply because of the uncertainty that COVID brings. However, no, when it comes to global infrastructure projects, no, there at least we see some positive signs here. There were more than 2,500 projects, which was up at 5.5%. Most probably because governments had to spend their capital investments in non-tourism sectors such as infrastructures or even agriculture. Then another positive impact of tourism is the rise of micro, small, and medium enterprises. So during or before the pandemic happened, no, 80% of the globe's businesses were comprised of the MSMEs. However, during the pandemic, there was a drop in demand. In fact, according to the Asian Development Bank report, no, so this happened mostly in the Southeast Asia region. So in Indonesia, Thailand, and the Lao PDR, monthly sales volume fell over 30% for a large number of MSMEs in March, which is a large number in April, posting no sales due to the rising number of temporary closures. In the Philippines, however, the majority of MSMEs had no sales in March immediately after the strict lockdown measures. So I can still vividly recall that the lockdown was imposed here in the Philippines in March 17, 2019. Then we have the negative economic impacts of tourism. First is the overdependence on tourism. Now we can see the effect of being too dependent on tourism. As I mentioned earlier, in some of the developing countries, they consider tourism as their top export category. So what happens if you depend too much on tourism and a crisis like this happens? A lot of workers lost their jobs, businesses had to slow down or to close. Okay, so forcing the government now to turn into other in developing other non-tourism sectors. Then seasonality. There is always a lean and peak season in tourism. And but now that we have the COVID, we can hardly notice the difference because people are mostly are confined in their homes. No? Then there's an increase in prices of products and services, just following the law of supply and demand. If there are a lot of people consuming a product, the demand is greater than the supply. Of course, it brings the uh, prices up. Also, there's a tendency for business owners, like if foreigners will be the one to buy the products, then prices are higher than if the locals will be the one to buy. Then another negative impact, economic impact, is high leakage. No, so countries, when you say high leakage, countries usually lose what's supposed to be theirs. Like for example, if there are foreign visitors who will visit a country, instead of buying the products of that host country, they will demand for the products which are produced in their own country, forcing these host countries to import these products. Okay, so let's now continue with the next impact of tourism, which is socio-cultural impact. So here are the positive socio-cultural impacts of tourism. First is the intercultural exchange. Because the foreigners, when they visit a country, they have a chance to interact with the local people, no? Thereby exchanging culture, tradition, ways, practices they learn from each other. As a result, you develop relationships with people from other countries. Aside from that, there will be better understanding and peace, no? However, during the COVID times or during this pandemic, no, um, there's an anecdotal evidence to show that during crises such as health-related crisis like what is happening right now, or economic crisis or environmental crisis, then minorities are just like what's happening. If you observe, no, there is a discrimination among Asians because they are considered scapegoats of what's happening right now, no? And then another positive impact is use of foreign language. You're able to communicate with people from other parts of the world. Therefore, you have the opportunity also to use their language so that you can, or even learn their language. And with social media now, or through the internet, no, we're able to link with other people, even though we cannot really travel. We are staying mostly at home, but through social media, we're able to connect with people, no, from other parts of the world. Then preservation of cultural and historical heritage. It is the pride of the nation, no, to be able to preserve its cultural and historical heritage as part of its identity. That you are proud to showcase this to foreigners who will visit your place. Then improve health conditions and disease control, just like what is happening right now. The governments of the different countries have really enforced strict health and safety protocols for the prevention of the spread of COVID-19. No? But of course, some people, no, it is noted that there are some violators of this, but still the government is in control or on top of the situation. Then another positive socio-cultural impact of tourism is strengthening of local communities. So through the income derived from tourism, then governments are able to provide social services to its citizens, like for example, education, and then what else? education, health care also, or even housing, no, to the local communities. To continue, this time let's talk about the negative socio-cultural impacts of tourism, which is the loss of cultural identity. No? Because of the influence that the foreigners might bring to a host country when the visitors go to another country, then somehow they can influence the citizens of this country, thereby some of them would lose their identity. No? Then there is an increase in crime rates. No? Normally, tourists are the targets of criminals because of the perception that they have the money. That's why you can travel. No? Even now that domestic tourism is being encouraged, no? Domestic tourists are not spared from the activities of the criminals, especially now that a lot of people have lost their jobs. No? Then spread of diseases. One of the causes why COVID spread was because of the people traveling from one place to another, and they carried with them the disease. And it's not only COVID. Prior to that, there were other diseases, like, for example, SARS in 2003. Then we had MERS in 2016, even the bird flu in 2011. And not only that, during the pandemic, it has been noted that there was an increase in the incidence of mental health disorders because of the anxiety, depression of the people feeling that they have been confined in their homes, and the feeling of uncertainty. When will this COVID last? We don't know. No? Okay. Another negative social cultural impact is breakup of family structure. So since some people, especially coming from the rural areas, who would like to seek for greener pastures, they would go to the urban areas or the cities, or even work abroad. Just like Filipinos, there are a lot of Filipinos working abroad as overseas Filipino workers. And as a result, they are separated from their families. But during this pandemic, the opposite has happened because the tourism industry had to slow down, or a lot of businesses closed down. Even the cruise lines, they had to stop temporarily because of the outbreak of COVID. So a lot of these workers had to go home, no? Because they lost their jobs. So in effect, they were reunited with their families. No? And then exploitation of women and children. Well, did you know that 50% of the tourism workforce is composed of women? But unfortunately, some of them are not being paid well. They are exploited. Even children, some companies are hiring children and they are not paid well. Another thing that they're exposed to, like women, is prostitution, no? Um, and children to pedophiles. Okay. And to continue, we have traffic problems as one of the negative social cultural impact of tourism. Definitely, there are a lot of people who go and visit a very popular place. Then, because of the volume of people going there, definitely it could create traffic problems. But because of the pandemic now, no, there are lesser people now traveling, so traffic is not that a big issue right now. Then degradation of cultural environment. Um, First, the best example that I could give here will be the indigenous peoples, no, losing their own identity, which is being replaced by the general population's culture, no. So not able to retain their own identity, so much so that if before you can see some indigenous tribes wearing their own costume, they can now you can now see them wearing jeans or modern clothes. Okay. So let's continue. Aside from the economic, social-cultural, third one is environmental impact. So the first one is environmental awareness. Of course, everything starts in school, where you teach the children, school children, the importance and benefits of taking the environment. But of course, not only the school children, even the citizens have to be aware of this. And not only that, because of tourism, even the tourists or the visitors are informed about the importance of taking care of the environment. That's why there is an environmental protection and conservation practices, no, being implemented as simple as putting off the light when you are not using them or turning off the faucet, as simple as that, no. But when it comes to protection during the pandemic, no, it has been noted by the NASA scientists through their satellites that they have observed, no, that rapid deforestation is happening in the Amazon, especially in the side of the near Indonesia and Congo, no. But on the other side of the Amazon rainforest near Colombia and Peru, deforestation has slowed down, no. Okay. Then the third one is development of attractions. Definitely one of the reasons why tourists visit a place is because of its attractions. That's why it's right that governments or even private sectors have to develop the attractions to make it appealing to the visitors. And not only the foreign visitors, but also to the local or domestic travelers as well. Then the negative environmental impacts of tourism, first is the increase of pollution. Even before the pandemic started, pollution has been a problem already, especially plastic pollution, where you can see a lot of plastics being thrown to the sea, destroying the fish habitat, affecting the coral reefs, the seabed, etc. You know? But during the pandemic, no, um, it's very encouraging to note that according to the NASA scientists again, no, for example, we're talking about air pollution. In India in particular, because of the slowdown of industry, the crushing of stones turning into construction materials had to stop. And definitely the air quality there improved. Then in China, it was reported also that there was a decrease by 25% of carbon emission and 50% decrease of nitrogen emission. Okay. Depletion of natural resources. Depletion of natural resources, again, because of the abuses committed by people. No? For example, in Africa during the pandemic, no, it has been reported that poaching uh, is being done. So it's just like using COVID as a cover up to these illegal activities such as fishing. Then waste disposal problems, it has been a problem even before COVID, no? People not following proper segregation, throwing litters everywhere, especially now in the time of pandemic. We use a lot of face masks or personal protective equipments. So where do you throw them? Where do you dump them? No? So we have to be careful of these things. Then degradation of land use. So what are the causes of this? Too much commercial construction, especially prior to COVID. But during the pandemic, some of the constructions had to be stopped. No? Then, of course, too much tourism activities. But now during COVID, since not so many people can travel, we can say that somehow we allowed nature to recover, no, somehow during the pandemic. So, what are the impact control measures? How to recover from COVID-19? First, we have to bring back tourist confidence to travel. And how do we do that? The vaccination program of the governments of different countries has somehow helped, because it is said that there should be at least 70% of the population that have to be vaccinated for you to achieve herd immunity, no? So that really you can safely say that you can now travel, no? That it's almost back to normal. But then, of course, there are new variants coming in, like the Delta variant, and still, governments have to impose strict safety and health protocols and to assure them that it's safe to travel. That's the reason why the World Tourism and Travel Council, or WTTC, have issued safe travel stamp to at least 100 countries who have been observing, proper hygiene and sanitation protocols. Then cooperation and coordination among nations, no? Everyone should be informed of the latest updates about COVID, and to how to fight like the latest variants that we have. Education and effective information dissemination. All the citizens, the people from the different countries have to be informed about given travel advisories, what to do and what not to do to keep them safe from COVID. Then support from government and international institutions. As I mentioned earlier, there were a lot of workers who lost their jobs and businesses had to close down or slow down. So it's the government's role to help them, assist them by offering financial aids or packages, or providing loans with low interest, no, to this, especially the small and medium, micro, small, and medium enterprises, which were greatly affected. And it's very encouraging to know that even the private sectors have been helping. Like in the Philippines, we noticed the rise of the community pantries, which has benefited a lot of workers who lost their jobs. Then to promote investments that will boost economic growth, create employment, and practice sustainability. So it's really good to hear that there were also businesses that have been thriving during this pandemic, and perhaps investments can be poured into these businesses. Like for example, e-commerce in particular, a lot of companies going online, even restaurants are going online. The delivery services, not only for food manufacturing companies, supermarkets or groceries, and restaurants or caterers or catering services, but also even clothes or fashion or clothes, no, going online. And since people are mostly at home, no, they can now beautify their houses. So even furniture suppliers are gaining right now, and the garden suppliers, because it has become a hobby to a lot of people. And since we are mostly working from home, then and doing telemarketing, or sorry, telenetworking, no, and telecommunication. So even telecommunication companies are thriving in this time of pandemic. Then the last one, building resilient and sustainable tourism. Okay, so we could really go into, for example, the use of green energy, going into renewable sources of energy like wind, solar energy, hydropower energy, geothermal energy, biomass, instead of the usual reliance on gasoline and oil, which are non-renewable. Okay, so let's just hope and pray that this pandemic will end very soon, so that it will give an opportunity for the people to go out again and travel and see the different places around the world very soon. So that's all about my report. Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone.
Thank you so much, Mom Concepcion R. Mendoza. We are really thankful, Mom, because uh, the one that you showed us really helps us understand what is happening in our tourism industry. And it's very vital as it helps us realize that tourism plays a vital for the success of many economies around the world. And it also boosts the revenue of the economy, and it can create thousands of jobs and plants a sense of cultural exchange between foreigners and citizens. But not only you inform us, ma'am, but you also provide some possible solutions for us to survive the tourism industry amidst this pandemic. And I would like to highlight the one that you said to us, the information dissemination. I think it's really necessary right now because we cannot see each other face to face. So in more time we are using technology and we are talking online, so that's how the information dissemination should be processed because it will keep us more updated. So if we know this thing, we will know how to react, how to respond, what to do, because we have information gained provided by the different institutions. So thank you, ma'am, because it's really relevant and your insight is very valuable to all of us. And from Life Sineprin, thank you very much, Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza. She typed, and most of them, Ma'am, are saying thank you, Ma'am, for sharing the tourism updates. So, Ma'am, from the bottom of my heart, although we cannot see each other, this is my shake hands and maraming salamat po. In English, thank you so much, Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza. We will
Thank you
see
very
each
much.
we will see each other again for the question and answer session after the next speaker. A round of applause for Ma'am Maria, for Ma'am Concepcion R. Mendoza. Before we proceed with our next speaker for tonight, we are reminding everyone to please like and subscribe the IGP YouTube channel and click the bell icon for more updates. So IGP is providing lots of platforms so we can choose where to go, but still it's IGP. So although we have different platforms, we have different destinations, it's still IGP. And we will be able to provide and set CPD, UK, and Ministry of Education and Department of Education. That's why you need to wait for the code later for the certification process. Once again, code will be provided later so you can claim your certificate. And that code will be the basis for the CPD in our upcoming webinars. Thank you for staying. I hope everyone is okay and all right. And now we will be proceeding for our next speaker. I'm reading some of your comments. So thank you for all the lovely comments. And some of you are mentioning their friends. It's really helpful since this is free. Why don't we invite everyone so we can learn all together? Right. Our next speaker is the Dean from the College of Hospitality Management and Tourism, Baliwag University. She is a life skills trainer in Institute of Integrality in Wakwak Towers, Mandaluyong City. She is a program chairperson on BS in Hotel and Restaurant Management in De La Salle Araneta University and an ex-dean OIC in College of Business and Management in De La Salle Araneta University. She worked as holiday consultant of Sunrise Vacation Club, Tagaytay, and Lexper Holidays, Quezon City. She is a reservation personnel of the Century Park Hotel, an A&A Hotel Manila, swing manager of Cindy's Restaurant, Banquet Reservations Personnel, Century Park Hotel, Manila Service Personnel of Century Park Hotel, Manila, and she received many awards, such as Management Excellence Award and Extra Mile Award. Without further ado, let us welcome Ma'am Maria Teresa Naharo Bernabe with an introductory video. Let us watch all together.
A pleasant day to the officers and members of the Institute of Global Professionals, the Alliance of Hospitality and Tourism Movers of the Philippines, distinguished guests, and to all participants of this webinar on global impact of tourism. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Maria Teresa Bernabe, currently holding the position as the Dean of the College of Hospitality Management and Tourism at Baliwag University, Baliwag, Bulacan, Philippines. A candidate for Doctor of Philosophy in Management at De La Salle Araneta University. A Master's in Business Administration degree holder. I also serve as one of the regional directors of the Alliance of Hospitality and Tourism Movers of the Philippines, awarded Associate Fellow in Business Education by the Philippine Academy of Professionals in Business Education, Food Safety Compliance Officer, Basic Food Safety and HACCP Certified, Certified Guest Service Professional, Life Skills Trainer accredited by the Institute of Integrality, Dole Peso, and ADB, and worked as holiday consultant of Sunrise Vacation Club, Tagaytay, Philippines, and Lexber Holidays, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and grateful for the opportunity to deliver a talk on the global impact of tourism, focus on the topic, the impact of increasing digital footprint on the global tourism and travel. Thank you.
And now, here is Ma'am Maria Teresa N. Bernabe. It is our pleasure, Ma'am. You are speaking in front of us. There are a lot of people very excited to learn from you tonight or today.
Thank you very much, Miss Lurza. A pleasant
Thank you.
day to all. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I'm very honored to deliver a talk today pertaining to the global impacts of tourism. So let me share my screen. Please allow.
All right, ma'am, we will be waiting for your presentation.
Okay, can you see it now? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's very clear and it's very nice.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So once again, Maria Teresa Bernabe.
Thank you, Ma'am Lursha. Again, warm greetings to the Institute of Global Professionals, all the members and officers, our colleagues in the academe, and to all who are here, and those watching live in Facebook and YouTube, gaining a lot of learning insights about our field and the state of tourism industry. It was Ma'am Concepcion has shared with us a complete and detailed impacts of tourism industry globally. However, at this time, we cannot disregard the fact that the battle for COVID-19 pandemic is still around and it's hard to know what to expect. According to global tourism expert, an Australian professor, Mariana Sigala, she said it is not just tourists who are unsure for the next steps, it's also tourism businesses. And with change continuing to dictate the immediate future, knowing the likely trends is imperative for operators in the sector. And for this webinar, please allow me to deliver a talk entitled The Impact of Increasing Digital Footprint on the Global Tourism and Travel. Our emphasis will be laid on the role of travel bloggers and bloggers. So those who are interested there to become travel bloggers, this might be an interest to you. Okay. All right. Certainly, a trend in globalization is the significant movement of people around the world. And the internet is playing a role. Innovation and creativity are valuable assets for all tourism operators. All tourism sectors are now embracing technology. Everything is into wireless ways. Mobile technology allows people increased freedom to negotiate their day-to-day lives while staying connected. This was presented in the research of Dickinson, Galley, Charest, Speed, Davis, and Norgate 2014. And smartphones and applications or apps, according to Kramer, actually there were numerous already researches who presented this, provide access to information and the ability for tourists to shape their travel and route, affecting tourism travel decisions and behaviors in a more fluid way than ever before. So as mentioned, innovation and creativity are valuable assets for all tourism operators. And all tourism sectors are now embracing technology. However, since we are in the middle of a global health crisis brought by COVID-19, um, actually, the tourism industry was the one greatly affected. You know, everyone, possibly all of us here, are actually affected with the COVID-19 pandemic. And tourism industry is the one that is greatly hit by this pandemic. Although, what we can say now is tourism industry remains resilient. However, let's take a look. Although this was presented, I'd like to show you a data on how greatly affected tourism industry is uh, amid COVID-19 pandemic. This is the data from the World Travel and Tourism Council. So look at this. Actually, this was presented already a while ago by Ma'am Concepcion. Thank you for that, ma'am. And what we can see here, this latest annual research shows this from the World Travel and Tourism Council research data. What we can see here, okay, one, the travel and tourism sector suffered a loss of almost 4.5 trillion US dollars to reach 4.7 trillion in 2020, with the contribution to gross domestic product dropping by staggering 49.1% here, 41.9% compared to 2019. Relative to a 3.7 here, 3.7 gross domestic product or GDP decline of the global economy in 2020. Number two, in 2019, the travel and tourism sector contributed 10.4% to global GDP, a share which decreased to 5.5%. Imagine that, it decreased by half in 2020. And this was due to ongoing restrictions to mobility. Another thing, in 2020, there are almost 62 million jobs were lost. It's negative 61.6 million to be exact, representing a drop of 18.5%, leaving just how many na lang? 272 million employed across the sector globally. This is large, yes, but if we will compare this to 2019, we can see a tremendous drop from 2019 because 2019 has 334 million jobs in 2019. This is mainly because the trend of job losses persists as many jobs are currently supported, currently supported by government retention and reduced hours, which without a full recovery of travel and tourism could be lost. Another thing, domestic visitor spending decreased by 45%, while international visitor spending declined by an unprecedented 69.4%. You see that? Okay. Before COVID-19, travel and tourism had become one of the most important sectors in the world economy. And according to the data presented by Ma'am Concepcion a while ago, accounting for 10% of global domestic product or GDP and more than 320 jobs worldwide. However, travel and tourism has faced the COVID-19 tourism impacts hardest hit. So let's check. So this is the data presented by the World Travel and Tourism Council. However, tourism industry remains resilient. I'm sure everyone here will agree with me. The industry still remains resilient. One opportunity that we see is this. COVID-19 has deepened people's connection with digital services. So much so that technology is no longer an option or a luxury for a tourism provider. And then what is it now but a survival necessity, especially for tourism operators or travel operators? So what drives now? What drives now travelers to book specific destinations in specific hotels? Okay, let's look at this. People are turning to social media for inspiration. And report shows that a staggering 74% of travelers got their travel ideas from social media. So what does it mean? Social media now plays a key role in decision making. When it comes to choosing travel options, we do travel research and look to travel blogs. I'm doing it also, actually, every day. Every day, what I'm doing is I look when I open my Facebook account, I always look for travel options. And you know, a lot of people now are actually itching to travel because it has been a year now since the first lockdown experienced by the entire world. And now, slowly, because there are already vaccines available, and countries are now opening their doors. No, countries are now opening their doors for travel. In fact, here in the Philippines, we are encouraged already to go on domestic travel. So we are now open region wide. Okay. So and regional travel is now open here in the Philippines, and other countries are doing it also. They initially open their doors for domestic travel, while other countries, because most of the countries, especially in the Asia Pacific region, rely so much on tourism, and even though since there were vaccines already available, and some countries has now opened their doors for tourism. They are now accepting visitors from other countries. More than 148.3 million people use the internet now to make reservations for their accommodation alone. That's over what 57% of all travel reservations each year. So, what do we see here? That the influence of the internet has on the travel industry becomes astronomical, or shall we say, it's extremely large now. Every day we can see even celebrities, showing their vacation and enjoying summer vacations in Boracay or El Nido, Palawan, Philippines, and other parts of the world. And also, some of our friends are very active on Instagram. So they show us, we can see also in TikTok, they upload videos now, and they share their stories in Instagram and Snapchats about their trip and hopping from one restaurant to another restaurant, from one country to another country, from one destination to another destination. So travel has never been more in our face. Online user generated content, whether through social media, as I mentioned a while ago. Later on, I'll show you some platforms, social media platforms that are being used for uh, uh, travel blogging. Or travel rating sites is shaping where people go, where they stay, where they eat, and the types of activities they engage in. So what does this mean? Actually, we call them as, now they are popularly known as social media influencers. Okay, exciting, isn't it? So who wants to be a travel blogger? This might be an interest to you, or maybe a new career for you. So let's now check what is travel blogging, by the way. Traditionally, did you know that traditionally, travel blogging consisted of travel bloggers or travelers keeping journals of their holiday at home and abroad. In the 18th century, travel writing was known under the name Book of Travels. The Book of Travels, these are usually maritime journals. Well, in 1784, James Cook's diaries reached the status of modern-day international bestseller. Okay, many travel writings were actually based on factual journeys. I'm sure you might have heard already of Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels. When I was in grade 6, I got interested in this book, and I read this 5 times. And when I was employed already, graduated from college and employed, and that was the first time that I watched the movie Gulliver's Travels. And also, the other one is The Journey Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. So those are some of the examples of travel writing, and they were actually based on factual journeys. Now, the first travel blog known to the internet was created about 22 years ago. And it took 14 hours and a team of experts to send one image from Southeast America. I'm sorry, it's from Southeast Asia to North America. And the first blog was created by veteran travel journalist. His name is here, this one. The first online travel blog was posted by Jeff Greenwald on the Global Network Navigator in 1993. And he described this journey around the world and later turned the pieces into books. He had set he had set off on a worldwide adventure to write a book about his adventures via sea and land. No planes. His first post, titled 100 Nanoseconds of Solitude, was published on January 6, 1994. Jeff Greenwald had thousands of readers back then. Back then, thousands of readers is already big. At that time, he and his publishers had no idea their travel blogging experiment would turn into a worldwide obsession. Actually, the word blog has its origin in the word weblog. You can see this in the research of Myers, year 2010. Actually, the name blog didn't exist until 1999. Nowadays, things are changing. Certainly, things, activities, and events are changing. Even there's COVID-19 pandemic, there's hope. We see hope, we see opportunities, especially on the online world. It's not just on personal websites where travel logs exist. Social media is blowing up with incredible travel content. If you will check Google now and look for travel blog, you can see millions already. Millions of, uh, or shall we say, more than 400,000 uh, blog sites you can see in Google right now. Here are the popular platforms where influential travel bloggers are posting desired driving content. And these are, okay, I'm sure you know these logos. Okay, this one is very clear. This is YouTube. All right, the next one is, you can see with the blue and F at the center, this is, I cannot hear your voice. All right, this is Facebook. How about this one? How about this one? This red and purple with white at the center. Okay, this is very famous, especially for stories. This is Instagram. And then, of course, there's Twitter. And then there's Snapchat. And then Tumblr. And now, another growing, becoming popular now is TikTok. Okay, those are the popular platforms where influential travel bloggers are posting desired driving content. Okay, who travel blogs? Anyone. So me, you, anyone. We can find multitude of people, different personalities with all different backgrounds, posting about different travel adventures, not just about the destination, but what is done there, from the food they eat to trekking. Whatever makes their story more unique, they will tell and share it. And a lot of us, for sure, we have subscribed already to different travel bloggers. And also, not only travel bloggers, but video or vloggers, what we call as video or vloggers in YouTube and in TikTok. You subscribe to them because we get interest with what they are actually sharing. They're not just actually sharing the views of their travel, but also the great scenic beauty of their travel, but they educate as well. They educate as well. Okay. And actually, they are now popularly called now as influencers. So these influencers, when we say influencers, they have loud voice, substantial reach, and a significant network, including followers, readers, or viewers. So if you think you have the ability to do that, and you're capable to influence, sway, and you can be a travel blogger. Has the ability to sway opinions of a specific audience by association. So, social media and online reviews are the digital version word of mouth recommendations. Okay, and that impact travel influencers to travel and tour industry. So again, social media and online reviews are digital version word of mouth recommendations. Because of this, travel influencers are having a great impact on the tourism industry as a whole. All right. So what you see now, I got this from mytravelresearch.com in Australia. And uh, according to this site, this presents the traveler's path to purchase. Okay. Actually, this traveler's path to purchase is for us to understand how a travel influencer okay, actually influences other travelers. And to understand that, we need to understand this. Okay, what you see now is actually there's dreaming, planning, booking, anticipating en route, destination, and a long search. Okay, prior to the destination. The first part is actually about thinking holidays and starting to consider where to go. And that is you dream, where to go. I want to go to Boracay. I want to see Coron, or possibly go to Thailand or Bali, Indonesia, perhaps in the future when all borders are open. But now again, we are encouraging, and the Department of Tourism of the Philippines are now encouraging domestic travel. So dreaming is about thinking holidays and starting to consider where to go. And this dream will actually trigger us to start to plan, which is the next step. Um, it could be that the traveler has, or we look at our calendar and look on the uh, long long weekend holidays. Like today, it's holiday here in the Philippines because we are um, supporting the Muslim community for their Idil Adha. And the next thing is to plan. All right, planning. This is where the traveler starts collecting information already, asking around for recommendations. There's a strong possibility they're doing this, or we are doing this majority online. So it might be reviews. Me, I'm always looking at TripAdvisor, Agoda. Those are some booking engines, and Airbnb. Or just simply sometimes I just Google, look at the Facebook, Googling on simple things like how to go to Cebu and what could be the possible itineraries when we reach a certain or a particular destination that we plan to go to. So that's part of planning. And then after that, then we can now the traveler will now proceed to booking. Either the traveler will create his own itinerary or booking them or asking the assistance of a travel agent, or they're booking on pre-made tours. There's pre-made tours like asking the assistance of Interpid. They might also be using a physical travel agent. And then after that will be the anticipating, meaning getting ready to go and counting down. Usually, when we plan for travel and we book for travel, we book 1 month or 2 months or 3 months ahead of time so that we can purchase it in cheaper rates. Okay, and that's why anticipating is part of the path of purchase, getting ready to go and counting down. And according to my travel research.com out, they say this can be exciting. This part, anticipating, can be exciting, but also scary. This happened when a lot of travelers has already booked uh, last 2019, and then comes March 17. They're already booked in April for their travel, for their itinerary. They're all excited when here in the Philippines, March 17, 2019, the national government announced lockdown, or we call here in the Philippines uh, as enhanced community quarantine. NCR, the National Capital Region borders were closed, and nearby provinces were also closed. And so that's really, anticipating is really exciting but scary for the traveler at times, when especially when you experience uh, what we experience now, like COVID-19 pandemic or health crisis, world health crisis. And then after that will be en route, wherein traveler goes, okay, and they're on their way to their destination already. So, and then after that will be uh, back to the reality. Now, back to the reality. This is the time where, so look at this at the pink line, where you find the word search. So after destination, or after a successful visit to a destination, or a successful holiday to a destination, then next will be back to reality. However, travelers, people who travel, will now share what they enjoyed in their visit. sharing memories and stories with friends, family, and very much letting the world know what they did on social media. Okay, that's how travel influencers now comes in. By taking into account the traveler's buyer's journey, you can see social media influencers have a big role in dreaming, trigger, planning, and potentially on the booking stage. Okay, why? Because on the dreaming part, there are a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions from the uh, traveler, and their content answers questions a traveler might have, such as: Is it worth the money? Is it dangerous? Am I going to enjoy? What can I expect to see? How to get there? How to do once I get there? Where to go? Where to stay? And what is the best place to eat? As you, when you watch a travel, or when you read travel blogs or watch videos on YouTube about travel, usually the social media influencer answers all these questions. He sees to it. As I mentioned earlier, they're not just actually sharing great scenic beauty of the place they visit, but they actually educate and inform. They provide factual information about the travel, trigger planning, and potentially on the booking stage. This is where they sway traveler, they influence. However, travel influencers appear to provide sometimes bias, but they have to be unbiased. But sometimes there were, because some tour operators, as their way of marketing travel destinations, they partner with travel bloggers. But travel influencers should be and must provide unbiased, honest reviews about everything from food, locations, attractions, tours, and activities. And travelers trust them so much. Actually, when I watch TikTok videos and I see uh, places being shared by vloggers in TikTok, I get interested with how they edited their video, and actually, especially now that we don't experience summer holidays, and I mentioned earlier that all people now are actually would like to spend holidays as much as possible, especially those who are vaccinated already. In fact, the national government and the IATF of the Philippines has announced that for those fully vaccinated people or citizens of the Philippines can now travel from one region to another without having them submitted for a swab test or antigen test. They will just see a valid vaccination card or evidence that they have fully vaccinated already. So exciting, right? So how do we work with travel influencers, especially those in the travel business? A study by Thomason.com on influencer marketing found almost 60% of marketers are planning to increase their influencer marketing budget. So marketers around the world have been working with influencers for a number of years. Imagine you are a travel influencer and you get to travel interregion or within your country or domestically, and even travel overseas without spending anything. You just partner with a tourism business, and actually tourism businesses a lot budget for marketers for and work with travel influencers. Partnership and sponsorship with companies also brings in a steady amount of revenue for influencers. Here are some of some travel bloggers, very popular travel bloggers. I'm sure some of you knows them. Um, this is the most popular I see in the online world for travel. When you look for travel influencers, this is Brooke Saward from World of Wanderlust and works with various brands. He works with various brands, including travel companies, travel websites, technology companies, and even airlines. So imagine that. So when you work with various brands, so when you work for a travel company, including travel companies, travel websites, and even airlines, to get to travel for free, they will sponsor it. Okay, in the Philippines, um, the number one travel blogger in the Philippines is a wonderful soul. We call her as a wonderful soul, or she calls herself as a wonderful soul. So she presents a blog by a blabbermouth with an irresistible thirst for adventure and new discoveries and a knack for weaving words into great stories of epic travels. She usually, Wonderful Soul usually presents her travels with a great scenic beauty on a tropical area like here in the Philippines. We have El Nido, Palawan, we have Coron, we have Boracay, and we have Siargao and other beautiful uh, places, destinations here in the Philippines. Uh, Her frequency of travel blogging, she posts one travel blog per week. And she now has 15,500 Facebook fans with 98 Twitter followers and 1,200 Instagram followers, 40 social engagement, and her rank in Alexa is 2.2 million. That's why she was ranked number one based on Alexa rank. Another one is the Pinoy Traveler. Pinoy Traveler is a travel blog, okay, a trusted resource for destination guides and travel tips in presenting the best locations, attractions, and accommodations as a good review on gadgets and several travel essentials. What is good about Pinoy Traveler is that he presents destinations, very good destination, exciting destinations, but he also consider how much budget you need to spend for that particular destination. So it's very particular with expenses, travel expenses. It also features unedited and curated photos, meaning raw videos, raw photos, and videos to connect and remind us of people, places, things, and stories. So based on his frequency of travel blogging, 5 posts per month since January of 2015. And he has now earned or gained 295,000 Facebook fans and 882 Twitter followers and 5.5 million rank, Alexa rank. Actually, he was my favorite travel blogger in the Philippines. That's biased. Another one is, she's very popular as well, the Pinay Solo Backpacker. And her name is Gail Hilotin. She is a travel blogger from the Philippines since 2010. She has written travel features on the Philippines, not only in the Philippines, but in Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. Not because she frequently travels in those countries, but those countries finds her uh, very influential when it comes to presenting her travel writing and also her videos as well. She has contributed to the local and foreign travel news sites, newspapers, and magazines. Very active. This blog started out in January 2010, where she aims to inspire her readers to explore the Philippines and the world as well, as Empower Filipinas through travel. In 2012, she quit her job to travel around the Philippines for 7 months. Gail has visited all 81 provinces in the Philippines already. I have a friend who happened to be connected, was employed in one of the famous IT company here in the Philippines. However, the first time he wrote his travel blog, it garnered uh, um, a lot of uh, a lot of audience, a lot of readers. He was amazed, and actually, in just less than a year, he decided to leave his full time employment and do full time in travel blogging. I don't know if you do adventurista. So he was my friend, and he was actually connected in one of the uh, uh, IT company, famous IT company here in the Philippines. And actually has there's only a branch here in the Philippines, but an international IT brand. So going back to Pinay Solo Backpacker, one post per month, and then she has now 155,000 Facebook fans and 5,400 Twitter followers. On Instagram, she has 58,900 Instagram followers and 733,000 Alexa rank. So in conclusion, travel industry influencers, whether they're bloggers, Insta famous, Snapchatters, or Twitters, they impact tour and activities, as well as tour operators or tourism businesses, as well as the tourism industry as a whole. Their honest reviews and recommendations have the potential to sway and can have a massive impact on the brand awareness, credibility, and booking. So, I'd like to leave you this quote: life's not about all the steps you've taken or all the places you have been, it's about the footprints you leave behind. With that, thank you very much and mabuhay.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Maria, Teresa, and Bernabe. So we realize that there are favorable opinions when it comes to blogging, and travel blog will be very important information source for all the international travelers. So they can get advices and suggestions. Moreover, it can be one's travel experience, so they can read and they can share all their experiences to other interested travelers as well. So thank you for that very comprehensive report, Ma'am Maria, Teresa, and Bernabe. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, IGP.
In,
Ma'am Lursha, thank you very much. And to all.
in English, it's thank you. So we will get back to you very soon, ma'am, for the question and answer session. And now we are inviting everyone for the quiz competition. So you just need to proceed with the www.slido.com with the code IGP101. So please don't forget to type your full name and it will be directly printed on your certificates. All the top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. Once again, for our quiz competition, don't forget to type www.slido.com with the code IGP101. We are inviting everyone. Don't forget to type your full name, which will directly printed on your certificates. And now we have lots of participants. So we have Emily Refugo, Dr. Noronzanan, Jasmine C. Palad, Elvina Montalvo, Hannah, Zayola Jamalova, Maria Europio, Alvin Lumapan, Merly Kumangeg. Thank you all for joining. We have Maribel, so lots are joining now. Sami Malyari, Esther Ragil, Charles Ryan, Solano Olidan, Carl Evan, John Paul Sison, Rosa May, Rinan Fernandez, JV Asuncion, Shara Bermudez. So we have lots of participants. And IGP prepared 10 questions to all of you. I hope everyone can comply with all the quiz questions for tonight. Ameline A. Katubay, Claire, Abigail and May, Paulo Miguel Santiago, Mark Darren, Antonel Albano, May H. Coleto, Milrose Paje, Amy Grace, Abigail Jane, Maria Lian, Sharaline. So we have few minutes to prepare for the quiz competition with our theme, Global Impact on Tourism. I hope everyone learned because it's very relevant as COVID 19 transformed the world of travel. And through this quiz competition, we will be gaining more knowledge. Sharaline Palasabas, Gina S. Navarez, Maria Cora S. Villaluna. And here it is. Let us start with our question. For our first question, how does tourism have an impact on the global environment? The timer is already starting. And how does tourism have an impact? 65% answered increases greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So what would be the correct answer? Wow, so 65% got it correct. Congratulations. And we have an R for being the top one. Next question. A negative impact of tourism might be. There are four choices to all of you. Choose wisely. 88% chose all of the above. What would be the correct answer? Wow, so congratulations to those who got it correct. Next question. A positive impact of tourism may be. What will be the positive impact of tourism? When there's a negative, of course, there's a positive. And what would it be? Five, four, three, two, one. 90% chose all of the above. What is the correct answer? Wow, that's nice. 90% got it correct means all of the above. Congratulations, Maria JV. And next question, what is a positive impact of tourism? What will be the positive impact of tourism? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 64% chose global economic conditions affect tourism as a whole. And the correct answer, it can bring large sums of money into a country. It is it boosts the revenue of the economy, that's why. What is a positive impact on tourism? So we're talking about positive impact again. What is a positive impact on tourism? 89% shows historical sites and museums are restored and protected. Very good. So most of you got it correct. From the 87%, thank you. Tourism contributes how many percent of global GDP? How many percent? Is it 15%, 5%, 25%, or 10%? It's only 10%. Right? So let us try for the next question. Gemaline Rivera, you got it correct. Tourism has only negative impacts on global health and well being. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? It has only negative impacts on global health. Of course, it's false. Congratulations, Alex. And for the next question, tourism has many impacts. What type of impact is this? Business trips, sport trips, lecture trips, and a day trip. Well, we have different percent of those who chose leisure trips and business trips. So what would be the correct answer? A day trip. Now for the next question. What influences tourism? What are the influences of tourism? Please choose. Please choose your answer. We have 67% for distance, cost, and interest. Congratulations for those who got it correctly. And for our next question, tourism involves a stay of Is it more than 6 hours, more than 48, between 1 to 14, or more than 24? Most of you chose more than 24 hours but less than half a year. Congratulations to those who got it. All the 45% correct answers. Wow, so we already have the winner. Congratulations, Alex Javier Alvarez, for being the first placer for today's competition. But of course, all the top 10 winners will be receiving their certificates. So congratulations to all the top 10 winners for the quiz competition for tonight, brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. So once again, congratulations, Alex Javier Alvarez. So you can prepare your questions for later. Just type your questions in the comment section below. Now we will proceed with a question and answer session. Please prepare your questions and type it in the comment section below. And now we are in a question and answer session. Once again, our two great speakers for tonight, Ma'am Maria Teresa Bernabe and Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza. So we will be waiting for all your questions. So Ma'am Maria Teresa, how does it feel to travel in IGP? Because we're traveling in IGP.
It's great, great. Ma'am Lersha, it's really great to be part of IGP. In fact, I was only 2 months old, about 2 months old member of IGP. And this is actually a great opportunity to share something, a learning insight to all the members of the IGP. And I'm very thankful that IGP has given me this opportunity.
Ma'am, we are very thankful to that we have the chance to meet each other even online.
Yes.
So that's how it
Yes.
works right now. We're traveling online also.
We're traveling online. Yes.
Yeah. Ma'am Concepcion, oh, we already have the first question. All right, so for Ma'am Mendoza, why did OFWs dub their return to the Philippines as a novel coronavirus nightmare? Dub their return to the Philippines.
Well, most probably because it's really a nightmare not to have an most of the first of all, most of the overseas Filipino workers go to another country to earn an income for their families. So can you just imagine if they lose their jobs, they have nothing to bring home to their family. So how would you feel if you are the head of the family and you don't have an income to support them? So it's really a big nightmare. Because if you are a responsible person, then of course you have to think of the welfare of your loved ones. No? And another thing is COVID is really um, everybody's suffering from COVID, no? So even the mental health is affected because you don't know when it will end. Everything is uncertain. So it's really a nightmare for most of the people, not just the FWs, in fact. So I
Thank you,
hope
ma'am, for
I
the
answered
answer.
the
And also,
question.
thank you, Manolita Ramas Oligo, for your question. Now we will be waiting for the next question. Just type your question in the comment section below. So, Ma'am Conception, have you tried traveling amidst this pandemic, or most of us, because me, I'm staying at home only,
No, only through online.
online also.
Just
I guess it's
watching
very helpful
video tours, no, on video.
tours. It's like we're traveling.
Yes.
All right. So for Ma'am Mendoza again, oh, from the same person. During pandemic, money buys social distance, but where does it leave budget travelers? Money buys social distance, but where does that leave budget travelers?
Okay. First of all, during this pandemic, there are a lot of travel restrictions. In fact, only domestic travel is being encouraged right now by most of the countries. So if you will say budget traveler, you just have to choose from what is being offered. Like in the Philippines, a lot of travel packages are being offered. Airline companies are offering very low rates. I'll give you an example. No, if you go to Boracay now, it will cost you only about 1,750 back and forth already. So, if you are a beach lover, party goer, night owl, then this could be a place for you to go, no? So you have to consider first of all that only domestic traveling is being encouraged at the moment, especially so that new variants of COVID are coming out, just like the Delta variant, which is which can spread very fast. In fact, Australia had to close because of that. No? So, did I answer your question?
I think not, because your answer explains a lot. And from Christopher Camberagunton, maybe to Ma'am Maria and Ma'am Concepcion, what are your message to those tourism businesses who suffered severe downfall this time of pandemic? Maybe let us start with Ma'am Bernabe first.
Okay, thank you. So for those tourism businesses who suffered severe downfall this time of pandemic, uh, we'd like to actually look into for them to look into opportunities. Uh, this is the new normal way of doing travel business now. Look for opportunities like it was mentioned a while ago by Ma'am Concepcion that a lot of businesses now, even restaurants, are into online world already. They're opening their doors into online delivery since because our national government now has implemented very strict policies when it comes to dining in. In fact, the national government only allows around 30%. Now uh, they open now they allow 50% seating capacity for restaurants. So the opportunity we see there for the business to continue is to uh, look into the online world. As mentioned also on my presentation, that most of the businesses now, most travel businesses now, or tourism businesses now, are into updating and upgrading technology. They are
Yeah.
now embracing technology, and that is actually one opportunity that we see for the tourism business to continue.
Thank you, ma'am. How about Ma'am Concepcion?
Yeah, I think that Ma'am Bernabe has already answered the question because that was what I was about to say also. Look into the thriving businesses right now, especially e-commerce, no, online, going online. and look into what people are doing. Like gardening has become a hobby, and then what else? Furniture suppliers are also earning right now, so probably they can shift to that. No?
Yes, ma'am. So many Filipinos are becoming plantita or plantita.
Yes, plantitos and plantitas.
Yes.
All right. So from Manel Ayrub, how can we standardize the travel policy in the Philippines when it comes to the needed requirements during pandemic? So for Ma'am Concepcion.
First of all, you have to understand the setup in the Philippines because we have the IATF, which is in charge, no, of overseeing the whole thing, no. It also depends on the status. Like, are we on ECQ, GCQ, MECQ? Because if you're going to read the guidelines of the IATF, the guidelines are very clear. It just depends on whether you are on ECQ, GCQ, or MECQ. But also, they have given the local government units, like the mayors, no? Because there is also a league of mayors in Metro Manila, so that they can also decide on what is best for the region, NCR plus. So I would say more or less it is standardized in that regard because they meet and discuss what is best for a certain locality. If COVID cases will rise in a particular area, then they have to impose stricter measures. No? And in some areas that COVID cases have gone down, then they can relax the rules a little bit. But still, you have to follow the basic safety and health protocols like wearing of the mask and the face shield.
Yeah. So maybe based on the local government unit. So it's
Yes.
up to them because they know what's
Yes.
the real
We know
scenario
what's better. Yes.
to their places. All right. Thank you, ma'am. And for Ma'am Bernabe, what is the impact in tourism listed in the most dangerous countries to visit?
Okay. So, impact in tourism listed in the most dangerous countries to visit. I hope Philippines is not part of the list as one of the most dangerous countries to visit. In fact, Philippines is one of the uh, uh, beautiful place to visit, a beautiful country to visit in. That's why it's more fun in the Philippines. However, one impact in tourism to these dangerous countries to visit is one impact. It was this was mentioned by Ma'am Concepcion a while ago in her report, and there's actually part of it that was mentioned about socio-cultural. There's that is one of the there's positive impact on the social cultural, and there were mentions about the negative impact in the social cultural, especially he mentioned a while ago by Ma'am Concepcion, pertaining to social cultural impact is the degradation, did I say it correct, of the culture
Yes.
of
Yes.
people in because um, when a certain culture was influenced by other cultures, which is negative to the culture of the people in that place, and that is actually one of the impacts when everything needs to be changed. There's a continuing change that is actually happening in especially if the country relies on, or the country's economy relies so much on tourism, and the country and the national government has to prepare for it. In fact, here in the Philippines, the Department of Tourism uh, has engaged so much in accepting visitors to come in here in the Philippines. However, we have actually laws. There are actually tourism laws that has been shared not only to our citizens but to other to foreign visitors as well, so that for the foreign visitors as well to follow. There's Tourism Act of the Philippines that needs to be followed. Another thing, not only social cultural impact, but on the environment as well. There is an impact on the environment as well. One threat is actually terrorism. Another threat is about health, about pandemic. First, we have to define what is a dangerous country is. There should be a clear definition of what is a dangerous country, because there are a lot of definitions about saying that that country is dangerous. Dangerous because of what? Because there's a threat of terrorism in that country. Uh, Possibly a dangerous country because there's a threat of there's drugs are all over uh, the country, or possibly there's war going on in that country. So those things,
Maybe
and that limits travel, and that limits the movement of people from one place to another. I hope that
things.
answers the question.
It really answered very well, ma'am. Maybe it from Mom Conception's discussion a while ago
May
that
I add
we have.
something? May I add something to that question?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Um, Normally, countries issue travel advisories, no? Especially if they think that their citizens, it will be a risk or it's risky on their citizens to travel in some particular countries, then they would issue travel advisories. So what will be the effect on the countries? Definitely, they will be losing income or revenues because it will tarnish their image.
Maybe, ma'am, we would like to highlight the one that you said, the information dissemination. Maybe it's very essential before we go travel. We have to
Yes,
know the
that's what.
place first. We have
Yes,
to
exactly.
to learn about that place, not just go there because you like it. So we have to know a lot of things before going to any places that we plan to
Yes.
go. Right? Thank you, ma'am. And now from Paul Cipres for Ma'am Mendoza, how do we encourage tourism amidst pandemic?
Okay, we have to be very realistic here. Tourism is not only going physically to a place. By the way, I'm also a Department of Tourism accredited tour guide, and the trend now is to travel online through virtual tours. In fact, there is now a partnership between UNWTO and Google, no, to feature different sites around the world. Whether you're looking for museums or beautiful places around the world, then you go online. So this is also tourism, but doing it virtually. That's the most practical thing to do right now because of the situation that we are in.
All right. So there are lots of virtual tours, ma'am. So they're planning to have virtual
Yes.
tours and virtual experiences as a part.
Even as tour guides, accredited tour guides here in the Philippines,
Wow, that's nice.
we do offer virtual tours, educational virtual tours, interactive virtual tours. Yes, which could
Hopefully,
be another source of income.
hopefully, ma'am, it can be implemented in different schools. So maybe children can have
Yes.
some break from academic activities and do some virtual field trip like that.
A
So that's
number of schools are already doing that.
wow.
So I
I hope
hope
that
more
our
schools
school.
will follow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
Actually,
that
for basic
information,
education,
ma'am.
So you know where to find us just in case.
I'm really hoping that most of the schools offer this kind of virtual tour, especially in museum that's part of our history and culture. So it's very helpful. All right, so for Mom Conception, what are the new restrictions for travelers?
Restrictions again, simply because the latest is that we have the new variant, which is the Delta variant. No? If before we have relaxed some rules already, then the mayors are again evaluating the situation because for a while they allowed the minors, no, younger people to go out. But now I think they are meeting once again to evaluate the situation because of this Delta variant. So still, we have to follow the strict protocols like wearing of the mask, wearing of the face shield, we cannot do away with that because this virus, as this Delta variant rather, no, as I watched on TV the other day, no, if before it will take 15 minutes for you to be contaminated with the COVID virus, but now with the Delta virus, in just a few seconds, you can already acquire the disease. So that's how dangerous it is. So all the more we have to be strict in following the safety and health protocols issued by the government.
Being obedient right now is really a must for us to be healthy and safe. Right? So from the Divs Bulay, for both speakers, is there any chance to rebuild and regain the almost dying tourism and hospitality, and how? Maybe let us start with Ma'am Bernabe.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. I believe, ma'am, at this time, uh, the tourism and hospitality industry is not actually on the verge of dying, but rather it just sleep somehow during this world health crisis that we are experiencing. But a lot of tourism businesses are still uh, resilient. They have shown their resiliency in terms of looking for opportunities. In fact, Ma'am Concepcion is part of the Department of Tourism. We the Department of Tourism has actually engaged a lot on human capital development for the rebuilding and regaining of the tourism businesses here in the Philippines, because as we know that our national government is actually highly dependent and relying on the tourism business, and one of the priority of the government right now is to rebuild the tourism and hospitality business. It actually does not really died down because of the pandemic, but it shows resiliency and shows a lot of opportunities. There's e-commerce now, and Department of Tourism is supporting this. And Department of Tourism is now actually little by little giving, providing accreditations and recognitions to these tourism businesses to and be allowed to operate once again, especially for those tourism businesses who follows strictly the IATF policies and regulations with regards to operating businesses at this most especially for restaurants, for example, as mentioned earlier, IATF policy says the states that uh, there should be 30% seating capacity only open for restaurant operators. Otherwise, they will be closed again if they don't follow. So those things actually.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, ma'am.
So
How
let
about
me
Ma'am
add,
Concepcion?
yeah. So let me add to what Ma'am Bernabe has already mentioned. Um, of course, it is human nature to travel. You cannot stop people from traveling. It's just a matter of time. Once they are given the go signal, they will do that. In fact, the Department of Tourism has already opened or is really encouraging domestic travel at the moment. So, in fact, Tagaytay has been open for a long time. There are other places in the Philippines which is open, like Baguio. No? So, if you feel hot and just want to relax somewhere which is far from Manila, you can go to Baguio. Another beautiful place that perhaps you haven't explored yet and which has a very wide space, no beautiful spots is Tanay. Probably you can explore the area as well. So what the government has been very practical about the situation. So every time a certain area improves, no, what I'm saying is the number of COVID cases goes down, then they will open the place for as long as safety and health protocols will be followed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have to consider this now as the new normal. The new normal. Because we don't expect COVID to go. away, no? Just like there are new variants coming out. We have heard of the Delta variant. Then there's also the Lambda variant, and how many other Greek alphabets will be coming out as new variants and everything. But you cannot stop people from traveling. That's why even business people are raring to open up, no, the economy, and they're doing it little by encouraging also those people who have been vaccinated already can go to the malls, present their proof, and they're given discounts. All the incentives are given for them to go out and travel for as long as you follow the protocols.
All right. Thank you, Ma'am Concepcion, Ma'am Maria Teresa Bernabe, and of course, Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza. All of your answers are eye opener to all of us. And I read lots of comments saying thank you for all our great speakers for tonight. So once again, Ma'am Maria Teresa Bernabe and Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza. Let us give a virtual round of applause to our two great speakers for tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
IGP. And thank you to all the participants.
All the participants, ma'am, are very happy with all of your answers.
Thank you very much.
So we must get all the key takeaways. So to all our knowledge seekers, remember COVID-19 transformed the world of travel, but all we have to do is to be obedient and follow all the health protocols. So for our announcement, for better services from IGP, we will publish our Android apps within few days. That's nice. You can do everything from that apps also. So brought to you, there will be an IGP app in our Android. So that's nice. So that's a good news to everyone because we can be updated with all the upcoming activities and webinars by just looking in our Android app. And for announcement, we don't invest a single penny for promoting IGP. So please maintain distance from us while you want to promote your business. All right, so for all those attending the webinars, clearly for educational webinar, for comprehensive activity, so we are reminding everyone not to promote any businesses. So there will be no investment of single penny on this. And we don't have any separate platform like Facebook and YouTube. So all the case, we are dependent with this media. That's why we have some restrictions also. So there is one Facebook page only and YouTube channel for IGP. There's no separate platform. So I hope it is clear to all of you. And for our announcement, if everything will be okay, then we will arrange a free international webinar daily from August 15. So we will arrange a free international webinar from August 15. And here is the certification process step by step. For today's program name, please take a look for the title, Global Impact of Tourism. And the certification link is eduigp.com courses/global impact of tourism. Certification link is now available in comment box and pin comment. Certification link will be available always in this program, post by Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube description. For those who are asking, do we need to pay for the global membership and professional membership? No, you're not going to pay. You can claim your certificate in two ways: direct link from comment box, pin comment, and post description. Or if you're not able to click this link, Please directly browse eduigp.com for all the information together. Find today's program, then the process are the same. So all you need to do, there's a lot of link, pinned link. I'm also looking at the comment from the sharer. There are detailed steps on how you may claim your e-certificates. So there are pinned comments. So this is how it looks. Remember, you can only claim your certificate if you enrolled in today's session. If you attended and you don't know the process yet, you can enroll. You can still enroll because you stayed with us from the start a while ago. So it means you complied with the requirements, so you can still enroll and claim your certificate. If you are new, don't forget to create your account. If you have an account, then log in directly. After that, find the seminar title and get enrolled. Create your account if you're new. So the certification code is IGP 666. Without this code, no one is eligible for certificates. And this code will be the basis for the proposal of CPD, UK, from the Ministry of Education and the Department of Education. So remember, you have to stay with us until the end so you can get your code to claim your certificate. This is Institute of Global Professional Reminders. And for some additional announcement, please, for the quiz code and certificate code, it is not the same. So we have a different code for the quiz, for the Slido, and another set of code for your certificate. I hope that it is clear for everyone. Remember, the code for today's Global Impact of Tourism is IGP 666. You have to enter the code for certification for tonight's webinar. Nano here, sharer. So we have lots of pinned certification process in the comment section because I'm also looking. So there's no need for you to travel far because it's already in the comment section. All we need to do is look for the pin. And also Nano here is typing the code for today's webinar. So everyone just take a look in the comment section. No need to travel far. It's already in the comment section below. Our free international webinar certificate is auto-downloadable in PDF file. So check your device file manager. Sometimes it looks uncompleted, which is for your mobile screen size. In PDF file, everything is okay. If nothing found in your file manager, please check your browser setting or update your browser or try with another browser or try it from a laptop or a desktop. This is an example of Certificate of Participation brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. IGP is an ISO verified. So verified certificate, we are hoping that you followed all the steps so you can claim your certificate. And we are really happy that all of you completed today's webinar. You can join all our live programs from Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube channel, website. So we have all the official Facebook page, group, and YouTube channel website. For those who are asking the WhatsApp group, it's already pinned also. If you want to join, you can click the WhatsApp link for you to be a professional member of IGP. And if you can share it to your friends and community, check in. Don't forget to check in IGP so you can claim your global membership too. Dear participants, if any problem raised to claim your certificate, or any other issues, please don't be hesitate to contact us. If now our website isn't working well, don't be panic. Don't panic, it's issue of traffic cost of maximum users. You can claim your certificates tomorrow also. So there's no need to hurry. Our core team members are always ready in comment section to support you to find solutions. Janet S. Cablao and Calvin Linato. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask from the comment section below. All the sharers and top fans are also willing to answer all your questions. And for the upcoming webinar, we are inviting you on July 22, 2021 for the topic Educators' Leadership Skills. Marlet Moralda, it's unloadable today. Maybe we can wait. Don't panic. And on July 24 for the topic Scientific Research Writing and Reviewing. And on July 26, the topic is Magic of Logic. And on July 28, the special topics in general mathematics. July 30, Global Hospitality Planning with Modern Travelers. So I think it's connected with our topic for today. Maybe we can plan on attending this. All of this webinar is welcome and free to all of you. And on August 1, we have the empowerment through education. August 3, setting career goals. It's very timely because some of you are asking what to do, what is your plan amidst this pandemic. So you can attend some of our all of our topics because it will provide you additional learning. And on August 6, self-determination leads to success. I'm also interested with this topic. How to be self-determined. August 7, transcending optimism and research-based practices in education. August 9, transforming the future through education. August 11, developing resilience. We have lots of best speakers that is waiting for all of you. I hope that all of you can attend. I'm interested on July 30, says Dibs Bulay. Thank you. And on August 13, leading change through uncertainty. So thank you also, Ida Ramirez. I hope that you can attend all the webinar session of IGP. August 16, transformational leadership. August 16 or August 15? August 15. Sorry, my eyes. Transformational leadership. So to our school leaders, maybe you can attend this. And continuation topic, August 17, leading for success. And on August 19, community engagement and empowerment. August 21, don't forget all the dates, achieving success through innovation. And on August 23, leadership in education. There are lots of good topics that the IGP is providing. So let us continue sharing this to your friends and community. August 25, Social, Emotional Teaching and Learning Management. And August 27, Thriving for Success. Welcome Alex Javier and Mark Cubio Pilos. And August 29, Principles of Leading Change. Wow, that's nice. Four speakers. We are excited on August 29. I hope that all of you too. Wow, this is the next topic. August 31, Young Leaders Changing the World. Divs Bula, you will be notified. Just keep yourself posted in our page. And on August 31, Young Leaders Changing the World. Thank you, Marlette Moralda, for looking forward to all the upcoming webinars brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. Feed your skills. And we have the September topic, importance of co-curricular activities in teaching and learning process. Calvin Lenato, thank you so much for being the supportive fan of IGP. And we have the September 5, Technology of the Future in Education, Advantages and Challenges. Welcome, Joanne S. Laut. Thank you for attending today's session. And on September 7, ICT uses in everywhere. We are really using ICT right now. And on September 9, 21st Skill in Education and Integration of Technology. Remember that Institute of Global Professionals provides new learning. Hara Gray, thank you so much for organizing. Always welcome. It's very convenient, yes. And September 7, supporting learning through interactive learning tools. So how do we use the interaction or interactive learning tools so we can still support learning? So I guess we will see each other on September 7th. So this is the example of certificate of participation. And this is the quiz completion certificate. So all the completers of quiz today, thank you and congratulations for participating. But of course, when you stay, all of you are the winners because we can have the certificate of attendance too. So this is the example of professional membership. Thank you. Welcome also Ma'am Leia Madronio Octoman and Ka Marisa Gumabong. Welcome po. And the professional membership, Mark Anthony P. Aquino. So that is an example of global membership. If you are interested, there's a link to be followed. Just join the WhatsApp link so you can have the step on how to be a global member brought to you by Institute of Global Professionals. Wow, so this is an example of lifetime membership. You just have to stay with all the webinars, attend all the webinars, be an active participant, be a sharer, be a top fan, so you can be qualified to have the certificate of lifetime membership. We have lots who receive this certificate. And for those who are hosts, of course, you can have your certificate. And for the speakers as well. So Ma'am Concepcion Mendoza and Ma'am Teresa Bernabel will get these speakers. So IGP is really accepting best and trained speakers all over the world. So though we are in distance, IGP will always be in the middle. So please join our team. Join the IGP, Institute of Global Professionals. So we are for the global volunteers. If you are interested, we are looking some dedicated volunteers, post customer service representative, and post video creator. So don't hesitate to contact the IGP. They are very welcome. They are very happy to welcome you all. Yes, you can, Ryan Zapanta, you can claim your certificate tomorrow if you cannot access the link because of maximum users. Welcome, Miss Elvie Nool Montalvo. All right, so that's the session for today. I hope that everyone enjoyed the session. So maybe COVID-19 transformed the world of travel. All of us are largely staying for months at home, and we starting to dream again of beaches, mountains, and monuments. So reopening travel presents its own challenges. But since we are human, we have the ability to adjust and find ways. That's why there are contactless check-in hotels and airports, and virtual tours and virtual experiences. So we are reminding you that even if the vaccine was implemented tomorrow, the next day, the next month, these changes will not all go away. So this is the so-called new normal. So maybe there's some relaxation, but remember, this is pandemic. We have to move forward. We have to continue. We have to keep on going. We have to find ways because if we believe we can cope with all these challenges, so we have to embrace the new normal, embrace the opportunity because in every day, everywhere, we can learn all together. And let us welcome IGP as a part of our weekly routine. So, all the upcoming webinars, just be updated so we can learn. We can also travel. We are like knowledge travelers because we have the chance to meet different people, different speakers all over the world. So, we are knowledge seekers and knowledge travelers. And I would like to commend you all for being the knowledge travelers for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Please don't forget to leave a review, check in, and recommend on our page, and spread the information to your friends and community. Don't forget to collect your e-certificate from our website mentioned below. So we hope to see you all again in the upcoming webinars of IGP. Remember, we are capable to all the changes if we believe we can make it all together. Let us all be happy and optimistic no matter what. I am your host for the evening, Lercia L. Pelaez from New Era University, Quezon City, Philippines. Signing out. Stay safe, everyone. Health is wealth. Goodbye, good night, good day, and we hope to see you all again next time. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat.